Yeah, welcome to the molybdenum software show where we code a lot and maybe provide some value to someone, hopefully. Maybe you get some value out of watching this other than making fun of us. So during the weekend I started I didn't even finish. I started converting my kind of, I don't know how to say it, my home manager NeoVim configuration to still home manager, but NixVim home manager NeoVim configuration.
What were you doing previously?
Home manager.
Just home manager.
Home manager has a NeoVim module,
hmm
and it works. It's Nix, so it works, but it's not as well designed as NixVim. It's not as full featured as, well, maybe not full featured. I'm not sure what full featured is. I'm not expert NeoVim enough to say what full featured means, but for one, NixVim has plugins like built in. You just need to enable, and you got the plugin. And I didn't look into the implementation, but it seems like I'm sure some plugins have dependencies, and most of these things are just sorted out. And I can't tell like for sure yet, and I can test it, but I kind of have the feeling so far that somehow it's faster.
Mm.
That my NeoVim is snappier, and I haven't finished migrating everything, so it's maybe I just didn't add the thing that I had that's making it slow.
hmm
I'm
Well,
quite happy, but not quite finished.
it isn't is I mean, there's a bunch of different ways that plugins are loaded in NeoVim, right? You have um, I don't know if there's different. There's like an async library to load plugins. There's all kinds of
Loads and manages plugins, right?
yeah.
Downloads them from Git.
Oh, okay. So it's not like the actual plugin is loaded differently. Because I've kind of looked at it on and off, and like when we were doing Summer of Nix, and I just I haven't committed and made the switch.
I don't even know how NixVim loads what it uses to load plugins. I don't
Yeah.
quite. It's abstracted from me, so I might care at some point. I
hmm
hope to not care. It
That's yeah.
uses something to load the plugins, right? It's like even so. A few moments ago I added the first plugin that is not bundled, that is not packaged, that is not part of the NixVim plugins, something enable true,
Yeah.
and it's not a top level plugin. It's more like a telescope extension.
hmm
Uh, all I needed to do, and I didn't test yet that it actually works, but theoretically, all I needed to do is package it myself using pkgs dot vim dot build vim plugin.
hmm
That gives me a derivation that I can then add to a programs.nixvim. That's a home manager option, right? Programs.nixvim dot extra packages.
Okay.
And then in Telescope, I need to do programs.nixvim.plugins.telescope. Something like extra enabled plugins list with the name the string name of that extension.
Mm-hmm.
Can get much worse. Can be much worse. I mean, and you know what I did? I'll share my screen.
Sure.
You know what? How about you share your screen? I'll give you the you can go and find it on my GitHub.
Okay. Hold on. Shit, I think on this browser I'm not logged in, but let's see. I am Mighty. Is that what it is?
Mighty Ion.
Oh, Mighty I am. That's close.
Don't forget
Oh, Mighty I
the
am.
Y.
Hold on. It's too early. There we go.
And look for a repo called A Brush.
A brush.
The
Okay.
code name. Don't mind the name so much
Uh-huh.
right now. But read this. I wrote this yesterday. I published this yesterday.
Okay, so let's see. A Nix community-powered NeoVim. Us software developers with the desire to increase the throughput of our code editing turn towards the most popular keyboard-centric editor, NeoVim. And then we spend outrageous durations configuring it, adding pretty much the same features that everyone needs: VCS, language support, completion, linting, file system navigation, autosave, various UI elements, debugging, session persistence, and more. Alternatively, we use a NeoVim distribution such as LazyVim, LunarVim, and Astro NVim. These provide immense value. The difference between using them and configuring NeoVim ourselves is measured in weeks of work. Yeah, that sounds pretty much true.
Mm-hmm.
Nix users, however, are reluctant to use such NeoVim distributions because because they are distributed in ways that are incompatible with the principles of Nix. Specifically, these distros typically include their own dependency management, which is in contrast with the Nix user's intention to manage all dependencies using Nix. In addition to this principal misalignment, on NixOS, a distro's attempt at dependency management is likely to fail when a downloaded ELF executable, e.g. an LSP server, attempts to dynamically load a library. Yeah, I could see how that could be a problem. So the idea, a Nix-powered NeoVim distribution is likely to provide immeasurable time saving to key-centric software developers who use Nix. Our time would be better spent progressing in our careers and entrepreneurial endeavors, contributing to the Nix open source ecosystem and maintaining our well-being. The Nix Vim project provides a solid layer of Nix-powered NeoVim configurability. It is already in use by Nix users, saving them considerable time and effort. A Nix-powered NeoVim distribution is likely to leverage Nix Vim extensively. So okay. That sounds pretty cool. Nice. So
Well,
once you've got this
yeah.
wrangled,
Thanks.
you'll
Ideas are
actually,
cheap.
yeah. That's cool. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. Um, in looking at it again briefly, like I didn't realize like LazyVim was an actual NeoVim distribution. That explains a lot from like what I was trying to sift through and configuring Vim and how to like what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
I kept seeing LazyVim and I was like, I don't know what that is or why I need it. But now that I know it's a distribution of sorts for NeoVim,
Mm-hmm.
explains a lot.
Those are fantastic. Each of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't like just give me one of these, and I would I would be a happy camper.
Mm-hmm.
But the effort of making them work on NixOS, and even if we succeed in doing that, it's simply not the Nix way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be hanging off of our NixOS systems like an appendage, you know?
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of these things sound like they're solving for problems that we don't really have. You know, like the dependency management.
Yep.
You know, both for the plugins and for, I'm sure, the binaries that those plugins
Mm-hmm.
leverage. You know, it's like stuff that in other distributions is kind of hard to. It is hard to wrangle. You know, obviously. That's why. That's why we all moved to Nix.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right. So ABrush, a
Because
working title.
ask me what editor I'm using.
So what editor are you using right now, Don?
I'm using a brush.
Okay.
That's,
Sounds fancy.
but I'm certainly open to better names. This is kind of a joke name.
Yeah,
Joke names can work. Once in a
I
while,
like it.
they. All right. Let's go. Let's continue our work.
Okay.
Take the helm.
All right, taking the helm. Let's see. I guess mob start. Yeah. I'm in the right branch. We're still on.
Make sure you have the timer somewhere open.
Yeah. Let me find that. Let's see. Still in Chrome.
You can do mob T open.
There we go. That would be good. Thank you. All right. So we'll be in mob poem though,
Yes.
or do we need to start somewhere
That's
else?
where we are.
What was that?
That's where we are.
Okay.
You can do mob start 7 here.
Yeah. Start 7. No. Oh, hold on. That's me. 1 sec. There we go. There we go. All right. So where would you like me to go?
Do you have language support by now?
I have I have Rust Analyze in my Vim config.
Okay. So what we wanted to do is we have this now, since we moved something, we took the SD notify usage
Mm-hmm.
out of some hook that Rocket provides us with, and we
Yeah.
put it in main.
Mm-hmm.
So we cannot unit test.
Mm-hmm.
They are integration tests, but they are integration tests for some function, which makes me think that they could be unit tests, but I'm not. It's let's not get into that right now.
Sure.
The point is, now that it's not in the app function, then it cannot be tested using our test utility, test context.
Yeah. Yeah. So the test that we were failing on last week was a valid thing to be failing on because we never called the main function.
Hmm.
So we've got to move it.
Well,
So
we had an idea.
yeah.
The idea was that this can be tested using the NixOS tests, and that would suffice.
Yeah. Is that how you want to test it? Test it?
I think it's good enough.
Okay.
It kind of couples, it couples the NixOS part of it,
Mm-hmm.
at least in testing,
Yeah.
to the project, to the program itself.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that in mind, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a good alternative to what we're currently doing.
I don't know. It's a kind of a shortcut.
Well, yeah. I mean, based on, I mean, I didn't know what the code looked like previously before. Was it you wrote it in Rocket,
Hmm.
and then from what I'm recalling, it was whatever it was setting up the was it whatever was setting up the socket was one layer deeper in like an app function or something, right?
In that test,
Mm-hmm.
the socket is set up in the test,
Oh
and
yeah,
the variable
mm-hmm.
that is the environment variable that is a path to that socket is also set in the test.
Mm-hmm.
The app is executed. No need to even hit the endpoint. And then the socket is read. That data is read from the socket
Mm-hmm.
and asserted. That's some 8-byte string
Mm-hmm.
that we expect.
Yeah, what I'm saying though is like just previously the reason why the test worked was we were setting or we were using that socket somewhere else in like another function outside of main. So we could move to
Yes,
that.
it's the app.
Yeah.
It's the Rocket app.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, alternatively, if we didn't want to do this with NixOS tests, we could move the using of that socket to mimic how it was used in Rocket.
Yes.
Alternatively, if that makes sense, or if that's maybe more trouble than it's worth, I think.
The there's a problem with that because we can't just move it because the meaning of that notification
Mm-hmm.
is, hey, I'm ready. Like I am listening
Yeah.
to incoming HTTP connections.
Uh-huh.
And the app, there is no, in Rocket there's a hook for that. There's a hook that's guaranteed to be after the app is, I don't know, some, at least listening, not some other
Sure.
things. Sure. With Poem, I don't see such a hook. We didn't
Okay.
find such a hook.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah. So doing it with poems gonna be yeah. It probably possible, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We might have to build it ourselves. However, the previous hook was working.
Well, we'd have to test like something else, some other thing, like something that main would call that sets up the actual server, and so it won't be the same thing that we test.
Gotcha.
In most of the other tests, all the other tests. Rotate.
Yeah, let's rotate. All right, taking command. Don, would you mind taking the helm?
Yes. No. By the way, we're only two. It's not. The formality is less useful because it's super clear what's happening, at least to us.
Yeah. It helps me a little bit because it's been a minute.
Well then, what is that? Well, yeah. Here's me. Okay, let's spend some time unbreaking this glyph extension. See, the glyph extension doesn't exist or isn't installed. Module telescope
Okay.
extensions glyph not found. So I'll go to like this screen, and this is the close this. This is the code here. So here's programs NixVim extra packages, and this is hopefully successfully packaged.
Yeah.
And then telescope enabled extensions glyph. And the docs say this for enabled extensions. A list of enabled extensions. You should only use this option directly if the telescope extension you wish to enable is not natively supported by NixVim, which is the case. Most extensions are available as plugins, telescope extensions name enabled, although some plugins that do more than just provide telescope extensions may use plugins name enable telescope instead. If you use an extension to this, if you add an extension to this manually, it is your responsibility to ensure the relevant plugin is also added to extra packages. And this is a list of strings declared here. Extensions, maybe, or maybe just here. Enabled here.
Enabled extensions.
There's nothing more here, but I mean, maybe in the implementation there's a little bit more. So so far this seems to correspond, right? Extra packages. This is this is the package. Plugins, telescope, enabled extensions.
Is it called glyph or is it called like glyph and Vim?
Good question.
Or telescope glyph. Yeah.
So in not this. Oh, that's like the latest. This is the repo. It says like if you're not using NixVim, then you're doing something like this, and you can just do load extension lib.
Okay.
I don't know what prompts NixVim to do that though. It's probably just this looks like GitHub thing. Although this is not that.
I was gonna say, is this like
it's a fork. This is like a thin fork, crude fork. Required telescope load extension glyph. That's where I took the word glyph from.
Yeah.
And then there's this usage, but we haven't gotten past this, right? Like this is the call that we're failing on here. Oh, well, if I start another one.
Let's
Glyph
see.
extension doesn't exist or isn't installed. Yeah, it's not like we can take this as fact, right?
Yeah.
It's not installed, and
And it looked like it was searching all the other places that potentially it could have been loaded from, because it had all those other paths.
I think what we could do is do something like mix tree, mix var run current system, and search for glyph cr package, right? And then here is the path. So I can go that. And do I know what should be here? I don't know what should be here. Lua, telescope, extensions. I don't know, that looks quite right to me. We could look at some other extensions, telescope extensions, and
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
mix tree, LS, but I don't have any enabled.
Oh, this is the only one.
But what is this? Vim plugin. That's telescope
This is telescope itself. That'll work though, right?
Sure, maybe. Here. This is a bunch of other things, but here's Lua telescope. So, it's like, I don't know. Looks kind of something very similar to me. But we're missing something, right? Maybe it's not glyph. Maybe because of the way the NixVim works,
It kind of
maybe
looked
it's
like it
not
was
just glyph.
Yeah, it looked like it was telescope hyphen glyph. Like if you go back to the path,
Like,
so go back to the glyph.
let's see if I know how to do this. Like control R. Hold on. Yeah, see. Alt. Oh no, it's not right. Yeah, see. This, that, this. What do you think? It'll be telescope
So
telescope
go into
hyphen glyph.
Lua. Yeah. And then see there it's telescope glyph.
You think the word will be this?
Yeah, at least.
We can try.
Yeah, because it just
But
doesn't like.
here there's underscore extensions glyph.
Extension.
And this probably requires that. Here,
Yeah.
see, it requires telescope glyph.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking it is glyph.
Yeah, maybe it still is glyph. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do for now is not fight this, because not very interesting. And I'm going to just edit that part. Wait, what? Where am I?
I
Not
think you're
even
in
the.
the yeah, you're in PR tracker.
Let's do this. Okay. Switch. I have a warning there. Oops, I think I hit it wrong. All right,
There we go.
go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna open up Flake Nix. Let's
Mob
see what
start
we.
7.
Sorry, what?
Mob start 7.
Ah, starts already going rogue. All right. So it doesn't look like we have any.
Show us API source main.
Okay. API or create API source main
Lib.
lib.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Wait. No. Well, we
Main.
want to see this as well, but I think is there main?
There's main.
Okay.
There.
Try E and then dot.
Okay. Let's do that. I think I went to it from this works nice. Source and then we have main.
Mm-hmm.
Want to open that?
Yes.
Okay.
Line 28.
Okay.
And this should work. It's not tested yet, but it should work. It should work because what we're doing is line 21 is an acceptor,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little bit of a convoluted way of starting a poem app. But I
Okay.
think this is how you got to do it. See, line 30, server new with acceptor takes that acceptor.
Mm-hmm.
And the TCP listener from line 21 is actually it's a poem. It's a poem TCP listener, but I think it's a thin wrapper around Tokyo
Okay.
TCP listener. Anyway,
What
at
would
that
be the
point,
difference between that and Tokyo?
I don't know.
Okay.
At that point, after like that acceptor into the bind into acceptor await unwrap, I think we're listening.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we like. We dug through the calls and we saw and we saw the documentation. This eventually calls some Tokyo listener that we saw the API docs for some method that it calls, and we're pretty sure that at that point, no, it's not listening yet. It's listening only when you give. Let me think about that. Yeah, I think it is listening. It is listening at that point
Okay.
because then at line 28 we can do the notification.
Mm-hmm.
The app on line 26 being before the notification, I don't think that matters because you don't really start the app or the server with the app. The app is the endpoint. Like there's a function app which turns
Mm-hmm.
the endpoint. which could be multiple endpoints, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure how this works. We do have only one endpoint, though. So you can
But
see that this is the main. This is main. So this
yeah.
cannot be like imported and tested because
Yeah.
this is main. And the notification does not belong in app because I think app is pure. App can be, tested with with a test server, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
fake, like a test server, not a real server, and that's because it's pure. And so we like sure Rocket, it's a bit smarter, a bit more full featured in the sense that it gives you that hook.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's like it's impure. You start the app and it does this thing. It would do it even in a test. That's the reason it's working currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of shouldn't be.
So then the point of what of server on line 30 is just to like wait and take requests, essentially. Because if everything else has been like, the acceptor is created, the app is, I don't know, is started.
It's not started.
It's not started. Okay.
It's just an endpoint that the server actually starts things.
Okay. So
Except for the listener. There is a way
okay.
to a different static method to start to like construct a server that also creates the listener for you.
Mm-hmm.
Line 31 run and that await should never end.
Yeah,
Should
it's
never like
infinite.
return. So that unwrap should never occur other than except for an actual error. So
Mm-hmm.
that unwrap is a strange unwrap because it will never return an OK.
Yeah, it would always be some type of,
The air
yeah,
variant
something that went
of
wrong.
result. Sorry, it will never return. The unwrap will literally never return
Mm-hmm.
because it'll panic. It may panic, but it'll never return.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an unreachable code path after 33.
Mm-hmm.
And if the await ever resolves, it will resolve into an error.
Makes sense.
Did you see the notification for
Yeah.
the time? So just rotate.
Ghost rotate.
Don't
Okay.
wait for me.
Let's do it.
Suppose you made no changes.
No.
There it is. Starting. I'll restart the editor because now it's supposed to actually work. Okay. So it's creates API name.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, given the framework, everything that we're using, I mean, this seems reasonable, right?
Except for wanting to test the notification.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, I mean, do you want to put together an NixOS test?
The theory is that the current NixOS tests will already catch this problem. If we comment out this SD notify, what will happen is that the systemd service in the NixOS tests
Mm-hmm.
will kind of say fail to. I don't know whatever it does when it does not get the notification. I'm actually not sure what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it have a timeout for not getting the notification? I think it should. And what does it do when that timeout expires?
Wouldn't it just try to start it again?
Maybe.
You know, like whatever the defaults are, which I feel like are usually kind of insane. It's like it'd be like I tried to start it like 30 times in 1 second. And you're like, I don't know why that's a default, but
It's like too many questions. I kind of want to test this in Rust
okay.
because
Mm-hmm.
that notify is synchronous.
Mm-hmm.
It's blocking. So the test we currently have is rather trivial.
Mm-hmm.
But now we need to like import something else, or should we take a look at the test?
Sure.
Notify. Makes the temp dir, it makes the socket path, it sets the notify socket environment variable
Mm-hmm.
that is read by this.
Mm-hmm.
It's read by this. And that's another way in which this is impure. Right? And then it creates the socket at that path. It sets some read timeouts on it. And we don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
And expected, this is the byte string that's expected. And then test context, it creates an app. That's what it does. But it doesn't call main, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to do something else. Like we need to. We could possibly just run the executable.
Okay.
It's a child process. Could do that, right?
Mm-hmm. So why can't we just run main directly?
Because it's not a function that is exported, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
I
Gotcha.
don't think it can be exported.
Even in the context of tests, you wouldn't be able to access it.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. I never, like, if here's main,
Mm-hmm.
pub fn main. There's actually no complaint about that. That's interesting. But it's not. But it's not a. It's not a library.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we import in the test context
Mm-hmm.
is like. Wait. Yeah, this app PR tracker API app.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a different file. It's from API source lib. It's this one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we can like go back here. I don't know that we can like import main.
Yeah, fair enough. I
PR
just
tracker.
curious. I mean,
Oh no, my completion. Oh, my like using tab, not
It doesn't complete.
yeah. What's the default for that?
For what? For filling?
For
Like,
choosing one. Down arrow?
I have no idea.
I'll
You
fix
got to
it
go
soon
old
enough.
school.
Enter doesn't. So you see, there's no. It's not. There's no main.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
Okay.
But we can extract a part of this. We could possibly extract a part of this. Next step.
Okay. Now you're saying you wanted to extract part of SD Notify?
Uh, Part of main, maybe like main currently reads some stuff from the environment.
Mm-hmm.
DB URL and port. The acceptor doesn't care about these. It currently is hard coded to listen on everything.
Uh-huh.
Well, sorry, port is there.
Well, ports there. Oh yeah, API port. Oh, okay, yeah. Then it's okay. That's correct.
And DB URL is line 26.
Yes.
So it's it feels somewhat like we could take everything from main
Mm-hmm.
and put it in lib. Like, why do we even have the reason we have lib here is for these integration tests.
Mm-hmm. So otherwise you would have had it all, everything that's in lib right now also in main?
Yeah.
Okay.
And arguably, these integration tests don't. No, the reason they need to be integration tests, or that they kind of makes more sense integration tests, is that a a database is actually run. Database servers started for each of them.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna open up lib just real quick.
If you could.
Okay. So this is where app is.
Yes.
Landed.
Can you see? Can you show us app again? I just noticed something in there.
Sure.
Do you see that it connects to a database?
Yep.
That's not pure.
No.
Arguably, and then it performs migrations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not pure. The pure part is supposed to be the part in line 15.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it'd kind of be like you'd rather have something that's like a pre-start or something that would get you the connection, do the migrations if necessary, and then call app with the existing like connection string or the cursor. I guess I don't know what PG pool returns, but the established connection or the pool DB. What's his?
Yeah, connection pool.
Yeah, pool.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is, yes, it's kind of have a main, just have the entirety of main.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels weird. Like feels that I'm suggesting something weird to put the entirety of main in a function in lib,
Mm-hmm.
which we could call main if that's allowed at all, and then just call it from the real main, and then we'd have a testable main, and then these two first lines here, two statements
Mm-hmm.
in this app would go there.
Mm-hmm. Move those out of app. Keep app pure.
But then what function would we? So app would take this connection, this DB pool as an argument
Yeah,
instead of DB URL.
exactly. I mean, if it's, I don't know if this helps. I don't know. It helps your reasoning at all, but it's like, uh, I'd use something similar, like if I'm using, like, say Python, and like I have a like a script that like within Python, right? You have what's the dunder main to like detect if it's running from an executable, essentially. Like
Mm-hmm.
usually then you like abstract the main function so you can call it both from like main and from
Mm-hmm.
the CLI. So like it's, I don't know, I don't think it's a terrible idea. Let's rotate.
Okay. Yeah, I remember how it works in Python.
Yeah.
Where so if we were to do such a thing,
Mm-hmm.
what would what this function, this test context with, see what it's like, it would start the main,
Mm-hmm.
right? It would start the lib main. But we don't need to, we are kind of incentivized to not do that because source lib source API main
Mm-hmm.
actually reads from the environment. We don't want that in tests.
Mm-hmm.
That's the contract with the environment. So
Yeah.
that part should remain only in the real main.
Okay. I think that makes sense. Because yeah, what good is that outside of this context?
So I think what we're looking at is doing something like, okay, there's app and there's endpoint. And what is currently here ends up as an endpoint should really be the result of calling it the endpoint function. Does that make sense?
So an endpoint in this case is the pool, right? Or no?
Endpoint, basically, if I look at app,
Yeah.
basically what I'm suggesting is to rename app to endpoint.
Okay.
And to extract all of this into a function called
Called the app.
I'm sorry, I think I got it in inverse. Extract this will remain app.
Okay.
And this will be extracted into a function called endpoint.
Oh, okay.
And then when and then in the tests, like here in the this is the test context with, where we get a, well, here is not a good example because this is the SD notify one, right? But if we go to API tests, this one, here's the health check okay test. We get this context, and then we can do context client. Okay, this is how we test. In order to do that, we do need a fully functioning app. We needed to have a database, right? That's why this is in integration. That's why we need, this utility helper, text context. So we'd still do this, and we'd move SD notify into here. Where's API name? We would move SD notify into here.
Into what would be endpoint? Or sorry, app. Yeah, app. Okay. Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense because it needs to be coupled with the listening. So we'd move both of these, like this, and the notification into app. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then at that point, though, are you going to return like the acceptor?
I think app will return the same thing.
Okay.
Or maybe the error will be not only a migrate error, because now we have the acceptor, whatever the error this gives us.
Yep. Because you could have like a binding error or something.
Yeah, it's probably an IO. Or whatever this error is. IO error. It's good IO. Yeah, that seems like a plan. And then in the notify test, right? In this test, it would just work. No changes, because notify would be in the thing that is provided in the test context.
Because we're calling app from that test context. Okay.
Yeah, that with is this app.
Yep.
This app. Shall we try that?
Yeah, let's do it.
So start from the outside in. Um, I believe so. This is not. I don't know. This doesn't change, right? Like still kind of like the app returns an endpoint. Still, that doesn't
Mhm.
change. But this goes inside. Yeah.
Inside out.
Maybe even like for the DB
Mm-hmm.
pool, and then the notification goes after that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe the DB pool happened before. Now we'll rotate it.
Okay.
Let's rotate it.
Set them both these. Okay.
It's saved.
Yeah. No, sorry. Just hands. Um. Okay. So let's go.
I I'm
Migrate.
instructing you to hit save because otherwise the type checking doesn't trigger.
Oh.
I think.
Yeah. There you go. Where'd it go?
Yeah, where did it go?
It was there for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Huh. That's interesting.
Good.
So that's an improvement from last week.
Yes. All right. So go choose an error. Like which
Yeah. So let's get the listener going.
that's just
So
an import.
yep.
Do you have like a binding for action? Code actions?
If I do, I don't know how to use it. Let's just it's a poem listener?
Yes.
Okay. There we
Oh,
go. Good.
you can put it in the
Oh, you
together
could just
the
do
line
it.
above.
Oh, I see.
That's why it
Nice. Okay.
shows it
So
there.
this becomes, is it listener then colon TCP listener?
Right.
Okay. Let's do this. Like that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we can't find port and then no.
DB instead of taking parameter DB URL, which is a stir,
Mm-hmm.
I think we take port, which is I don't know what. Probably also stir.
Oh.
Check.
Um.
Yeah, whatever port is here, do you have a key for like show me the type of this thing?
I need to.
Okay, so if you want to take notes for what to set up,
Yeah.
it's key binding for code actions, which is an LSP thing.
Okay.
It's an LSP function, NVMe LSP function. It's called code action. That's
Okay.
one. And the other one is inlay hints. Inlay hints is a NeoVim built-in feature.
Okay.
Just need to enable it, basically.
Let's be using NeoVim.
You're
I know
not?
currently this is Vim.
Oh, well then I don't know.
No, it's you know, I've been bouncing between both, so I just need to more of a reason to switch.
Okay. So inlay hints somehow, and a key binding that kind of gives you documentation for like in a pop-up, like show me what this thing is, what the type of this thing I'm pointing at.
Mm-hmm.
those are the three primary things, I think.
Cool. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's another way to go about. What is it?
Whatever port is, like, pass it on here in line 21. Pass it to the call to app.
Yep.
I don't even know if reference port or not, because I don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
I think it doesn't. It's probably on. You can pass it owned because it exists only here. It's used only once, so it can just be passed on. Whatever it is can be passed on to app, and then save and see what the type error is. You'll find out what the type is. They're going to have a. Oh, not here. Well, the type error will be where the call site. Yep.
Does not seem to care.
I need not a condenser microphone.
You need not a what?
I need a microphone that is not a condenser. There is too much to condense here. You don't get so maybe it's a string.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
And I think we need both though. We need both DB URL and port.
Oh, okay. Okay. But it was like this, right? DB URL? Or just DB, just do same thing.
I don't want to make too many like unrelated changes. So perhaps pass both as references, because DBRL is currently passed as reference.
Yeah.
Now you should definitely have a mismatch.
Okay. It's just argument error. Okay.
Yeah, go into
previous. And then where would we
change the parameter here. Line 9.
Yeah.
Just add another one, this port.
And let's go back. Next, whichever one. Okay. Yes. Okay, so it looks like it's. So now what is it not? Let's. So trait listener provides. Okay, so we're just missing acceptor bits. So let me mob next this.
No method, blah blah blah. It's from a trait, so we need to import that trait. Boom. Cannot find acceptor here.
Yeah, because we've got to return something. Like we need to get the acceptor out of app.
Huh. Well, that changes our plan a little bit, doesn't it? What's this one? That's a U16. So we don't pass it as a reference, and we just say U16.
Okay.
So I think all of this goes No, it cannot all go. So we need to like return a tuple with the acceptor and the endpoint,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's like acceptor endpoint. Oh no, it's a result. Oh, something and the endpoint, right? What is the acceptor? TCP acceptor. I cannot complete, so I have to type it correctly. And I cannot choose this in auto import, so I have to do this. At
I need to pass the port there as well.
where port. I think it doesn't matter what port we pass here.
Yeah, because we're not calling it later, so you could just pass in whatever you want.
Which makes me think we're not testing the right thing here. Here, we want not the app, but only an endpoint. But that's also incorrect because without a DB pool, the app doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But without an acceptor, the app does work. So I think what we should be this is the app.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we said we will extract this out of here?
Yep.
So this will be extracted
Into endpoint.
This doesn't work anymore. So yeah, okay, like endpoint.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a function endpoint, probably async. I don't know what turns, and it takes the DB pool. I mean, creates its DB pool. See this, the middleware, right? And this is probably similar to this return type, but without the acceptor. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I thought the whole point was to get endpoint to be pure.
I don't think we can do that. I think it needs the DB pool, depending on the definition of pure, right?
Oh, I see, because the middleware, yeah.
Of some lifetime. And this needs a DB URL.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can't complete. And this would be like an...
We should have just renamed app endpoint.
Okay. Oops. How did I even do that? Oh, because... no, actually, I'm not sure. Okay, so... pass DB URL. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
So used to completion.
Well, so the other issue here, though, is that because you're creating the DB pool inside of endpoint, the migrations that are inside of app, they don't have a pool to use. Yeah.
This goes there as well.
Okay.
As a future. Let's get this out of here. That's great. Oops. How'd they get? Oh, there are only warnings in this file, and here is an error.
Mm.
Rotated.
Okay.
I'm staring at app now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm seeing that it starts the listening, it notifies, and then it calls the endpoint,
Mm-hmm.
creates an endpoint, and then it returns the acceptor
Mm-hmm.
and the endpoint. So that kind of makes sense to me. Main should also be without errors now, but the testing should have an error. Another
Okay.
thing you kind of need is a plugin that shows. I think it's possible with LSP
Uh-huh.
as is. Shows you all the problems in the entire workspace.
Oh. So everything like in the project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out.
And this is exactly why we should do a brush.
Yeah, you make the case for having such a thing. So that's cool. So this doesn't complain. It complains remove the is that line 4 you use item. Oh, the whole thing. Oh, because we don't have a listener here. That doesn't really matter. And then you said that it was API tests that's broken. SD notify.
I think it's not test. I think go one up. It's test util.
Okay.
That should have an error.
This. Okay. Oops. So we want.
I think this is endpoint now instead of app.
Yeah.
And then you can rename the binding as well.
Oh, you mean the fact that it's now app? Yeah.
Yes, that's the binding.
Endpoint. And then test. Okay. Okay, and then function is a private function, so we gotta make it public, yeah?
Is private function.
So this is be pub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, where did it go? Oh, does it not put it in that queue? That's lame. Okay. Is this warnings? Okay. So now we should be able to run the tests. In theory.
Maybe. Why not? If it's only warning, fine. Cargo test.
Crate.
Just cargo test.
That was cargo. This cargo test is all we need.
Just cargo test.
Okay. Okay. Health check, not okay. Different from IBO3.
I think that's like a good sign. I think it's just a matter of an incorrect, like we from Rocket we got. Oh, I think we failed to like make the health check not okay. Like, however we tried to, that we're not succeeding now. Like the migration to Poem somehow interfered with that. Let's see how that test works.
So you think it's actually so yeah, we've got the socket, system denotify is go to socket. Well,
I don't know
would
about
be
that
good
test.
maybe, but the health check because the app just isn't actually working.
Well, I don't see a summary here. I see a lot of logging, by the way.
Yeah.
Interspersed with the test results.
See.
So I don't see all the test results. I would actually like to see what this looks like on main right now, because I wonder whether that's like these logs are somewhere else, right? Like maybe they don't show up here when we do cargo test on main.
Yeah. Okay, so do I need to build the binary and then execute it, or how's?
For what purpose?
Well, you're saying like what's these the logs aren't in main.
Sorry, the branch main
are different from main. So how do I execute main then?
The branch main.
Oh, the branch main. I see what you mean. Okay.
But hold on. Don't you have changes?
Yeah. What's up?
I noticed you were about to check out the branch, but don't you have changes?
Yeah, I can stash them. Or
no,
do you want me to
mob next.
Mob next. Okay.
Well, not because you're out of time, but you're out of time.
Just to commit them. I guess that was a good timing. Okay, switching.
What the hell? Oops. Let's don't know what's going on here now. Okay. If I switch to main and I don't want to pull it because I don't want changes. I want it,
You just want
at the point
there
from
right
what we have. This is a log for mob poem, and in the history of this should be, maybe not. Yeah, it should be like my local main, right?
Yep.
That's why I don't want to pull it.
Well, yeah, no, but can't you just check out local main?
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
We're on local main. Now I'm running cargo test and take a look at the the output.
Yeah.
And it is logging, and yeah, it's the same, right? Kind of looks the same.
Yeah, seems so.
So that's not different. We didn't change that, but it fails. Okay, how's it failing? Oh, this might due to an expired token.
What does that mean?
Cargo test. Is testing. It's like impure. It's testing against GitHub using a token.
Oh.
The fetcher not the API, the other program, the fetcher. And when you do Nix flake check, and when you run the... Anyway, we don't need to get into it, but it'll come back to
I
bite
didn't realize
bite us.
that helps just to understand. I wouldn't have guessed that was. I was like, token. Yeah, like, are we making an external call? Gotcha.
Fetcher does. So I need to fix the token, right?
Yeah, I guess if we just want to see what's going on with it.
Did it expire?
Do you want to stop sharing while you do
Not
this?
yet.
Okay.
At the right time. How do I get there though? Like
It's
here,
yeah, your settings.
and then I love this part, right? Like developer settings.
Yeah, of course. Those. I mean, we're not here because
What?
we're all developers. We put that at the bottom. I know it's every time you
Only
do
a
it, you're like,
subset
yeah, you're
of
like,
GitHub
why?
users
Why would you
are,
need this? If you really needed it, we put it here.
and it's 3 items in here.
Yeah, I don't know. The worst is this part. Yeah, the fine grained versus just the classic.
Ah, look, that's it.
Yep. I'm surprised it works with the fine grained. I feel like I don't know. I feel like every time I look at fine grained, it like doesn't work for what I want to do.
Let's take a
Maybe
look at what. 26. I just want to see what from not like nothing, and nothing. This is the least token.
You know what it is? You just need to authenticate
Can I do
to
this?
show that you're a user.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
If I do this, do I get a new one
I have no
on
idea.
screen? No expiration.
Don't do that.
I'll do it. What? Come on. I just don't want to. 90 days. Nah. It's it appeared on screen.
Yeah.
I need to regenerate it, and then I want. I'll put it on the other screen for a
Pause
moment.
sharing.
No, I'll put it on the other screen. Okay, regenerate. Cool. So here's what I have it on the other screen, but here I need to edit. Currently, I have it in my envar-c.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to do, in the envar-c, because sometimes I edit this, right? I need to kind of source.
Yeah, you want some indirection.
Yeah, token, right? I get GitHub token.
Mm-hmm.
And this I'll save as .github token, and take this line, put it here, and then on the other screen I'll put the actual one.
Mm-hmm.
Delete this one, copy, paste. Okay, I'll close that, delete that buffer, and I think that should work, right? This is sourcing that, but also
I have not done this in Durham, but that's pretty cool. That works.
This is the This is the so now I will echo dot slash dot GitHub token at the end of dot git info exclude. So now I don't have a untracked file here.
Mm-hmm.
Try to clear and reload. I know I ran out of time, but I think I should finish this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And do I have GitHub here? GitHub token.
Nice.
So cargo test. Try this again.
So that means that if I'm running cargo test, like how come I
Unfortunately,
don't
it
have to
failed.
worry about it?
You do.
Okay.
Of course you do.
But my
But it
cargo test
failed.
didn't complain about it.
It didn't? What do you mean it didn't?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
Do you have a GitHub token in
I
your
do,
environment?
but I don't think I'm exporting it. I could double check, but I don't think I'm exporting it currently. At least in this context. Okay, so still says expired. This may be due. Oh, this may be due to expired token.
It must be because otherwise this was working, right? Like last time I
Yeah, main
was
was
using
good.
it was working.
Yeah.
This is main. Shouldn't fail. Did I like not quote it properly or something? I don't think it needs quoting. I'm looking at the string.
I don't think you had it quoted earlier.
Expired token. Do I have also classic tokens? No, I don't have classic tokens. So why isn't this working? Do you want to look at the line? Like the crates fetcher source.
Maybe, yeah.
GitHub
Well,
187.
okay. So one thing though is, what
Wait a
if you just?
minute. So hold on. Why am I seeing this now?
That's
This
the
is
old one.
It must be because this was never here, right? The new one was never here.
Yeah.
The new one. I never updated it in this file.
Okay. So
So
you didn't
I
save.
didn't save .envars.
Okay.
How did I not save .envars? I don't know. .github. Open. What just happened is a mystery to me. Bit of a mystery to me.
Try it again.
I want to make sure this is not. Well, it's just not, right? Like if this works now, let's see that this fails, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I'd almost say if you want to do it in, if you want to do it with this share, just pipe it to like MD5 sum or something. That way you know which one's loaded without having to move it to your private monitor.
Here, .github token. Comment this out for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if this works, here and allow. If this works, we're good. Because if that one didn't work, then it's not. It doesn't work. Okay. We're
So
good.
it was
So
just
this one is out of date, and that's all. So that's working. So I can switch back to mob. Wait a minute.
what?
Is .envc checked in? Look, because as soon as I switched,
Yeah, cat out mvarc.
that's it's not. So why did I get this? Why did I, what is it? Why did I get this?
Okay, is the GitHub token actually untracked, like .github token? Because I wonder if mvarc is looking up what things it sources.
Here's git ls files.
Okay.
Sorry. I need
Oh,
zh for
less.
history. Dot. There's no dot token. I was careful.
No, yeah, I thought you were fine.
Also, not dot mvrc. So
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know why it would say it's not allowed again if it didn't change. I just don't get it.
Does Durham, is it aware of branch context?
Why would it? I don't know. Maybe that's a new feature.
Yeah, that's weird.
Why would it even care about that?
Maybe it only cares for branches that when there's an mvarc change, that branch was used between the old and new mvarc. I mean that's the only thing that would seem to matter.
Sorry, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I next it. I think my token is set up properly now, so
Okay. All right. So where did that leave us?
you should do the same, I suppose.
Set up my token.
Yeah, start by going to .envarc and do a source
It's a
.github
GitHub.
token or whatever you want. Okay. You don't need to allow it yet because that doesn't help. Token. And you should do here export.
You know what? Let's see. Can I have what? I'm trying to think what browser I'm in. Okay, yeah. I am logged in. How's all this other stuff? That's new. Okay. No fine-grained tokens. All right. I don't have a second screen on, so I'm just gonna stop sharing for a sec.
You can, yeah. I don't think it's the first click on that button that gives you a token.
Let's see. Okay, almost there. Okay. And we should be back. There we go. Okay, Durham allow.
Did you do export there?
Oh, hold on. Did not. It's missing. Stand by. Thank you. Export. And it's GitHub. I just put the token in. GitHub underscore token.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, looks better. And then let's see what it looks like once I get my share resumed. All right. And then we ran. I guess I gotta hold on. Running it on this left side here. Go test.
Is it allowed?
Yeah,
Did you allow it?
yeah, I allowed it earlier. It's here, right there.
Okay, fine.
So
Well,
should I go back to
that's
main to test that? Because
no. Oh,
okay,
you want to go back to main test? No need. Let's just assume it's working because right now it's a different test that's failing.
fair enough.
Health check not okay.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow, like I said, this test doesn't work now,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't work. We expected a 503, but we
Mm-hmm.
got a 200, which means the health check. I don't know. Is the health check?
No, wait. Isn't that we expected 200, but we got a 503?
No,
Okay.
actual expected.
Okay.
And health check not okay is the name of the test.
Oh, okay.
So,
Gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah.
let's start by taking a look at the test, see what how it sets up how it sets things up to not be okay.
Okay. So that would be let's see.
You can
We're in
grep for that,
okay, see.
but I think it's all in crates API tests.
Okay.
Test
Crates API tests or
no
test utils?
tests
Tests. Okay.
well, there's the
Health.
first one.
Oh,
First one
that's
in the
easy.
viewport.
Yeah. Health not okay.
Kill the
DB.
database server.
And we still got an okay. Interesting.
Well, let's see what that endpoint does.
Mm-hmm. So where do we get that from? That comes from. Is that from Poem?
Got what from?
So you're saying check what that endpoint does. Is that like something that's
I'm pretty
built
sure
into
it's
the?
our own
It's our own.
endpoint.
Okay. Creates API source lib.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Line 36. You
Get.
can go to the definition of health check function.
Yeah. I can't jump there, but what do we get? Where's health check come from?
Should
Oh, it's
be
down there.
F.
Okay, there, 59. Function.
It doesn't do anything.
So
Somehow in
503.
Rocket,
Uh-huh.
this was good.
Yeah.
Poem does not fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has to do with line 38.
Line 38. So you think that the middleware isn't actually detecting that the database is gone?
Yeah, I don't even know what that function db pool
Mm-hmm.
or add data. Yeah,
Okay, let's
I don't
switch
even.
to make sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
won't worry about that for now. It's fine.
Well,
But
okay. You
yeah,
should
it's
take care
untracked.
of
It's
this.
not, I'm not gonna. I won't like capital A, get add capital A.
Well, mob next does that.
Oh, mobnext does. I was like, okay, hold on.
You can do echo slash dot GitHub token
Okay.
to the end of .git info exclude.
Git info exclude. What did I not do? You said echo dot slash dot github.
Not dot slash.
Oh,
Slash.
why did I?
Dot.
Sorry. Yeah, there we go. We're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Starting. API. The function health check doesn't do anything, so it just relied on. How about we remove some of these warnings? Not in this function, not yet.
So Tom, what do you call the I don't know, these, like, are they decorators on top of the functions? Like poem
This.
handler?
So this syntax is an attribute.
Attribute. Okay.
And this is a path to a function, which is a proc macro handler function.
Wrap an async function. Okay.
It's an attribute proc macro. Sigil macro.
Interesting.
So DB pool is just, it's not a surprise, right? Like Rocket did something. Rocket handled the connection to the database for us. So it's not a surprise that this doesn't work, because all this does is add a piece of data so that endpoints, right, like that these handlers would have access to it. And here's how it works in landed, right? So in landed, we have this. See, there's a parameter. It's not really a parameter because this does some magic. It mangles. It probably identifies this syntax of saying poem web data. It probably expands to some other. In fact, we can do something like this. We could do Rust LSP expand. And this gives us the expansion of that function.
Whoa.
Our own function is like, it's here. You see this?
Yeah.
That's like our own function. And then the rest is from the code generated by that attribute. Attributes are functions that take the item that they're on and they return a different item.
Wraps the whole thing.
That's a common use.
At least, like, conceptually, I guess.
Yeah, in this case. In other cases, it's different, I suppose.
Gotcha.
It's also not always above a function, sometimes above a struct.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
So you can see that this was identified, and then like these were generated, P0 and P1. And then this kind of called with P0 and P1. So you can see with code generation, you can take a language that it's rather static,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of make it more dynamic.
So in this case, P0 is the pool, or data
Yeah,
using pool. Oh,
it
it's querying the
obtains
database. Okay.
it obtains the thing. And we can close this. Right? It obtains the thing that was this thing, right?
Yep.
Because I don't know, somehow. So all we have here, and this is pattern matching. This is pattern matching.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's not a parameter name, right? It's not just a binding name identifier. There is an identifier here. This is an identifier.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nested in a pattern. And this pattern is just a type. This path is a path to a type. Poem, web, data.
Mm-hmm.
And this data is a tuple struct that has a single field. And the type of that field is shown here in the inlay hint.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reference to a pool of Postgres. So you're
this is
saying,
okay.
and you can see that this actually matches that. Because that's the pattern, and that's the type.
Mm-hmm.
Pattern, type.
Gotcha.
So an alternative to that would be to just do DB pool.
Mm-hmm.
But then the type would be that, the type of the binding DB pool would be that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not interested in this thing. We want the inner thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we use pattern matching to obtain the inner field. And next, we're going to have to figure out how to actually do a health check. Now that right? Like we just connect, try to see whether this DB pool is active. There must be some, right? There must be some method on this.
It's not so much that the pool is active, but because did you kill the pool, or did we kill the connection string?
We killed the server.
Yeah, so the pool, because technically, isn't the pool just a that's local to the web server that's just going to hand out connections as you need them. So
yeah, and if you try
the
to obtain a
pool,
connection, right?
Yeah, you just try to
It'll
establish
fail.
one, and then it throws up. So
we have reached our time.
Yeah.
It's a good session.
Absolutely.
I'm waiting for the day that we would be here. 3 of us, or even 4 of us.
Mm.
Wait, I mean 4 or even 5. That would be fantastic, right?
Yeah. So it's been like what, 2 to 3 most times, or?
It's yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So far. And if you're watching and you want to participate and you think you've got what it takes, then I'm easy to find.
And it would be even easier to join once ABrush is up and running.
It's pronounced a brush.
A brush. Sorry.
Right? Because you want to say, I use a brush.
A brush.
I use a brush. I really want a better name. I don't want this to stick. But code names are code names.
Yeah. We'll see.
Awesome work, Rob. I will say goodbye and stop the recording. Thank you for participating, Rob.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching the Molybdenum Software Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. And someday even sponsor as soon as I set that up. Actually, you can sponsor me, but then Rob won't get a penny out of that. And it's too early to talk about these things. So, till next time, see ya.